So in this video, I'm going to talk about why staying motivated is more important than staying productive for the purpose of interviewing well. And I believe this is especially true during these times when the supply of jobs is quite limited and the amount of candidates is quite high applying for those few jobs. So this is actually the main reason why I think that motivation plays an even more important role than productivity nowadays. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 ways you could use, or you could also use a combination of these to stay motivated and increase your motivation to interview well. And while the content that I'm going to talk about next is nothing new, I believe the value in what I say is in the approach. Right, so I will talk about a couple of topics, keywords, which you may employ, which you may take advantage of in the goal of with the goal of staying motivated. Right. So the first one I'd like to talk about here is if you're looking for inspiration. Right. So if inspiration is something which keeps you motivated, for example, having a few examples for the questions that you're looking for, even tailored to your role, maybe even to your CV, and you could really customize the type of feedback you could get. Again, with the goal of inspiration, would be to simply have a conversation with AI, with ChatGPT, right? So this could be a beneficial way, and many of you will find something new and exciting, and to stay inspired for the purpose of interviewing well. And again, the goal here is to stay motivated for the job interview. The second thing I want to talk about here, some of you become motivated to interview well when you write. Okay, so if you start writing, then it helps with motivation for the purpose of interviewing better. And of course, the goal of writing for a job interview would be to build your story bank, I believe, right? So writing and building your story bank is another way that some people find motivating. You can also do it on my website for free if you want. We are close to 2,000 stories, after a few months of trialing this feature, right? So writing would be the second one. The third way to help with motivation for the purpose of job interviews would be to role play, right? So to have a more interactive, to speak to someone, to talk to someone, right? This also, I found that in some cases is of tremendous help. And I believe you could go even further than saying you just role play, but you would also want to interact with an authority in the field, so someone who is knowledgeable on those matters, and role play, and eventually help yourself to understand what it takes to do well in these interviews, right? So for this, you would be looking for a coach, right? Most of the time. Of course, you could also talk to a friend, role play with friends, but there's the free way and there is the paid version of these as well, right? But again, role play, interacting with someone, talking to someone could be a great motivator for your job interview. The fourth method I want to talk about here to help with motivation and really stay on track, if you want, is something not many of you enjoy doing, but some of you do, would be to follow advice. Right. So if you're someone who likes to follow advice and feels like, hey, it's the time that I follow a procedural approach to reach my goals, then maybe you'd want to consider a training program, right? So again, the context of these things is you could easily also interpret this YouTube video as a training program, but that's free content. Right? Whereas the paid content is something, where people spend time to really polish these things and provide a procedural approach in order to have, an end goal. And basically the advantage of this is you follow some advice. I don't know, it's a 3-hour training program, which you do in 3 days. But after those 3 days, you have an end goal in mind, right? You have a satisfaction that you achieved something which could be valuable for you. But again, this is for people who like to follow, or people who think, hey, now is the right time that I follow someone's advice, right? And last but not least, number 5 here, another great and interesting way to motivate yourself would be what I'm doing right now to a certain extent, would be to simply consume content for the purpose of entertaining yourself, and also often a bit of confirmation bias if you want. So YouTube has proven itself to be a great method to stay motivated for job interviews. Again, also because of the entertainment part, but also because of the confirmation bias, at least in my opinion.